Some of these Vikings players we haven't heard too much about yet. Should we be scared? Welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, and I know we're only 4 practices deep. But we're going to talk about five Vikings that I'm starting to wonder if they're even there. We haven't heard anything about. I want to hear all big news about these guys.
Yeah, there's a few players. Just you get these reports that come out, and it seems to be always the same guys. Justin Jefferson apparently ripping shit up, as well as Thayer Thomas and Ivan Pace Jr. But there's guys that we want to hear about. We just haven't heard much about, so we're going to talk about those guys, get them back on your radar. Maybe some things will come out, some nuggets will drop on these guys this week. Before we do, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, become a YouTube member.
Hit that sub. Let's get to 10K, baby. Let's get to 10K, and we must do a disclaimer. I believe the padded practices don't even start till today, so some of these guys we'll start definitely hearing good or bad. But that's the thing. We haven't heard good or bad about these guys. We don't know if they're there to start with. Brand new future Hall of Fame linebacker, Brian Asamoah.
Yeah, and I think, these non-padded practices don't do the linebackers favors. What can they do? They can run up and kind of hug somebody, maybe give them a couple thrusts from the hips below. That's about it. I mean, yeah, Ivan Pace Jr. is working with the twos. That is something noteworthy. But other than that, you don't hear much about linebackers in these non-padded practices.
I mean, they're definitely out there. I mean, we're hearing about other linebackers. Brian Asamoah, at least it'd be nice to hear like, wow, this guy is, faster than I thought. Or, wow, he looks like he's in really good shape. Anything.
Yeah. Or, a swatted pass or, breaking in well would have been a sack. Those are the kind of things you hear about these linebackers in these practices. Again, Asamoah has been quiet. I know he had an interview with somebody after practice once, but as far as his on-field play,
he's there.
It's just been mum.
And this is one of the names that we need to hear about. We want to hear about. We need to hear how fantastic he is. I mean, he's taking over for Eric freaking Kendricks. Let's go, Brian. Bry guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looked great.
I'm sure you're right. So, hey, sometimes you're not hearing about him. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler, again, another player that everybody has fairly high hopes for. Love to hear that he just busted out a 68-yard run.
Yeah, I mean, really all the running back news has been pretty quiet so far, other than everybo's getting snaps behind Alexander Madison. That's all you've really heard. But as Chandler, I mean, yeah, as he looked good, as he taken one in the house, as he caught the ball, as he, did a little juke and shook Brian Asamoah out of his jock strap. I don't know, because we're not hearing anything about Ty Chandler.
Wow, that one really riled you up. Here's a name. Again, obviously we haven't heard anything about. Is Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram, pads come on today. I'm sure we'll hear things about Ed very, very soon. Hopefully good. But Ed Ingram, another guy that really needs to play his nuts off.
Well, and you mentioned it before, sometimes we don't hear things about players, and that's just fine. But with Ed Ingram, that's a lineman. That kind of is the saying for linemen. You don't hear anything about the lineman, and that's good news. Well, I want to hear Ed Ingram's absolutely dominating, knocking guys on their ass. He's being an absolute beast, being a stalwart in pass protection, holding his own, not letting anybody around him. I want him to take that next step and look like he could potentially be a very good right guard for the Vikings.
I want him to be angry. I want him to be the offensive lineman on the Minnesota Vikings that opposing teams just hate. He gets under their skin. He's just an asshole. He's just a bulldozer. I want Ed Ingram to be enforcer of this offensive line.
Please don't say bulldozer, because you called Dakota Dozier the bulldozer, and that just brings back bad memories.
He's not done yet. He could circle back. He could circle back and have a hell of a career.
Not here.
Speaking of hell of a career, let's hope Dean Lowry has a fantastic career, because Dean Lowry, in my mind, could be the savior of this defensive line. A defensive line is kind of poop.
It's kind of poop. Only kind of analysis you get here at the Onebar and Lupagus show. It was poop. Yeah, I mean, this whole D-line from left to right has been pretty quiet so far. Haven't heard much about them creating pressure, getting back there, doing anything. Again, padded practices will serve these guys a little bit better, but Dean Lowry
is so good.
That could be part of it. But Dean Lowry, this guy we talked to, Packernet, Ryan over there, and he just said, he's a guy who does his job well. He knows what he has to do, and he's a solid part of the defense. So if he's that for the Vikings, I think that'll be huge.
Well, let's finish this off with that handsome fella down in the corner. Kickers, Daniel's special teams coach, come out and said that this will absolutely be a kicking competition. Yes, but I haven't heard have they kicked a ball yet?
It's weird because remember last year, all these camp reports are coming out. Greg Joseph hit from 65. Greg Joseph's hit 8 in a row. Seemed like every single
Oh my
practice was
God.
something about Greg Joseph hitting a very long field goal or doing something. This year so far, and like you said, it's only been 4 practices, but it's been absolutely quiet. Almost every single recap would end with the kicker, and we haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, maybe they're not letting the kickers play yet. Maybe they don't deserve to play yet.
Unless they're over on the other field and no one's watching them.
I do love that Jackpot Leslie is like number 46 or something really weird. And you know what? That panned out well for our punter. He was 66. He won the job. So old Jack's already got a leg up.
He's got a leg up. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, if he does win the job, he picks like some weird random number.
Like what?
Actually, I want to see it. A double-digit kicker number. I don't know. I was trying to think of one, but then everybody I thought of her was already spoken for.
Yeah, I could see that. Those are 5 guys that so far having a pretty quiet camp. And 5 guys, I've never eaten there. Have you?
I have. They'll give you a
Sounds
lot
good.
of fries. Don't ever get a large fry there. You'll be eating fries for weeks.
All right, let us know, guys, in the comments if someone else that's been a little quiet or someone you want to really perk up.
And remember this: a woman's brain shrinks during pregnancy and can take up to 6 months to regain its full size.